Welcome back, Pumptown and friends. So I just learned that I can launch a live without opening up the YouTube studio. Learn something new every day. Oh my goodness. We got no TV. Alright. Let's see here. There we go. Hey, there we go. What's up, people? There we go, there we go. What's ETH? Yeah, I had to change the title there. So, what's going on? Wow. It's kind of weird when you get up here, isn't it, you guys? It is. You never know where that higher low is going to be. So we do have a swing low created, and obviously the highest high of the three candles that created the swing low has been breached. So that model's complete. It sucks when you close way up here on your third candle in relation to that candle's low, because that's your gap risk basically. So it's the end of sell and may go away. How did that work out for the retail trader? Not very good. So the close of this candle is 21,792. So that'll be here. And the open of this candle is 48775. So that's here. So that's the open, that's the close. So here we are. Wow. At one point, many sessions ago, this gap, and it might have been this wick here, or maybe I was just aiming for the center of that wick, but this was a gap that we were maybe considering the possibility of repricing to. So, wow. Wow, that bottom there that we caught is now bleeding out into the monthly time frame. So there was a 1 second order block that leaked into the 5 second, the 15 second, the 1 minute, and it just kept bleeding out, and now we are here. You have no idea how freaking cool this is. Maybe you do, but it's pretty cool. So very cool. But there's a target acquired. Now, if we pull this wick here, we could see consequent encroachment of that guy here, or the lower quadrant, which happens to line up with this rejection block here. So I like that. You know, the analysis playing out from April and May here, this is, and we're now nearing disco territory. This is when things get a little weird and you're kind of just hanging on for dear life. So in the updates moving forward, assuming that we're making all-time highs, I'll help you guys out with projected targets for something to aim for, kind of like how we were aiming for this gap. We're not going to have these in disco territory, so I'll help you with some targets moving forward. It is Tuesday, so let's go into the weekly chart and see what we got materializing so far. I'm just gonna put my cursor there and see where we bottomed out. Oh my goodness. Reclaimed order block here. Oh my, I am like ecstatic right now. I am just absolutely ecstatic. So now that we're in the weekly chart, my memory serves me correctly, we're aiming for that low-hanging fruit out of the equal highs up in here. And the reason why is because like intraday, if I'm looking for an exit, we don't have to come all the way up into the all-time high. We could just peter around here, SR flip this gap, and then continue on the journey. So that's that gap from the monthly time frame. This gap in the weekly time frame, we've been dancing around this for a little bit, but this is something that we've had on our chart for quite some time. And we found the top of the previous 2 weeks here at consequent encroachment. So I really like this level. Let's keep this one on the charts. Not so much the monthly one. I mean, you can if you want, but I'd rather use the one in the closest time frame. So that would be this guy here. This is a tough call. So there's an inefficiency right here. And just for precision, and it's going to get really messy, but there's this, and there's also this lower quadrant of the inefficiency. So I don't know which one will be used, if it'll be the midway point of that inefficiency or what, but that there is going to be something I'm going to want to key off of tomorrow. I would consider the bottoms in for the week. So let's go into a daily chart. And yeah, I'm all about it. The bottom's likely in for the week. And that swing low is the higher low in our trend. And so tomorrow, well, we've got this here. This is a new week opening gap as well. Now, how I label these differently so that things don't get too messy is I'll turn this purple and I'll extend it right. So it just keeps going through with the gap. And I typically paint my new week opening gaps or gaps that I have no name for, or PD arrays that I have no name for. I'll typically paint purple. So this is something I'm going to want to key off of tomorrow, whether it be the high of it or consequent encroachment. But we have effectively, with one single clean pass back up through, closed above the new week opening gap from last week. So I am like turbo bullish here. Man, is that ever hot. Boy, I'm excited. Very excited. And I'm more excited for the altcoins than I am NASDAQ. Like, whoop-de-doo, NASDAQ's making an all-time high again. Like, that's never happened before. The altcoins, though, we're waiting for the people to start having money again and spending money. And that typically makes things go kind of berserk. And it's coming. It's on its way. So these are, I know it's going to get quite messy, but you just kind of got to deal with it. Now, the lower quadrant of our weekly SIBI is the lower quadrant of our new week opening gap. So I really like that. So the SIBI is this sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency here. And so I'm going to paint that gray and extend it right. Yeah. Just to keep things separated. Okay, so if you're not used to this, it can feel a little messy. So I really like that price point. So at midnight tonight, I'm going to be using the Asian range or the flout to see which one of those levels in the 5 or 15 minute time frame, using the wicks or the bodies, how I taught you guys earlier today. I'm going to see if any of those negative deviations align with any of this. something to keep in the back of your mind as well. This is typically something we'd be keying off of in a 15-minute chart. So I'll have this level as well. And this is your bullish order block. Now, the tricky thing is, do we come back down for the mitigation block coupled with this? I mean, it's an indigo entry technique. We could come all the way down here tomorrow, Wednesday, close a bearish candle, and then just freak out Thursday and Friday. That's on the table, okay? That's what I mean by gap risk. So you've got your highest low here, lower low, higher low. So yes, we have a bullish bias based on the discount-ish swing low in the trend, but we could come all the way down, even this little inefficiency here, and even the lower quadrant of this tail, and still be turbo bullish. So yeah, that's the game we play. So once price reaches these price points, you're waiting for your model. And if your model materializes, up to you what you do with it and how you're going to manage that position. Pay yourself accordingly, leave a runner. Just because of the information given to me here, I am going to be looking for home runs for the rest of the week, just so you're aware. Very low risk, and we'll be holding time stops. So that's the plan I'll be deploying. I'm not expecting a home run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. As I just said, we could expect a bearish candle here. That wouldn't be the worst thing. But then Thursday, Friday, I would expect some couple of bangers. So we'll see what happens. But another thing, tight range days bring large range days, and large range days thus bring tight range days. So look, if we just poke up into that high here and don't start launching up here, that wouldn't be the worst thing either, because then we could get a fair value gap in our trend structure, which would be ideal. So even though I just said I'm looking for home runs for the rest of the week, I'm not counting on tomorrow. If it happens tomorrow, I'll be likely sitting out Thursday, depending if we hit higher time frames and it's obvious. And then PCE, I'm really looking forward to PCE. So I mentioned at the beginning of the week, I don't really know from personal experience how PCE reacts on a banking holiday week. So we had Memorial Day Monday, PCE on Friday. Typically, if it's non-farm coupled with a banking holiday, price action's just kind of nil. But so I'll be noting that this week. Let's just peek at a 4-hour chart, see what we got going on here. So we're breaking down the information in our weekly and daily time frame in a more, well, you're breaking up the candles now. So if you're just looking at this and you didn't consider anything else, would you, and you were in a 15-minute chart, and you, let's just say you weren't in off the order block or breaker or any of that, what would you be looking for in a play? Well, you notice how you've just not, well, we took structure here with a fair value gap and then made the higher low in the set, confirmed the trend shift here, continuing the structure, another higher low. Now we've snapped up above the new week opening gap, and we've taken structure here, and what do we have here? Oh la la, I hope some of you got goosebumps right there. So tomorrow, and I mean the gap, the fair value gap, we're in it now actually, and we could just friggin' launch from here if it wanted to be rude. But that whole thing there, that's actually the gap, because there's an inefficiency here. So if there's an institutional order flow entry drill, we could just start losing it. However, I'm running time-based setups. So the higher time frame discount arrays need to be met at specific times, or I'm not interested. All right, so have this on your charts for targets. Buy side liquidity. And we can call this major or minor. I don't know. I'm just going to call it buy side liquidity. No idea. So if we can get down into here tomorrow morning, opening bell, my first partial will be here. Second partial will be here. And this is if we continue. It does look like it's going to keep continuing. So I do really like that. Is there any other inefficiency? There's one right up here, right in here. So at the high of that fair value gap in the weekly time frame. And then we have this baddie here. So we've got this gap right in here, volume imbalance, coupled with this guy here. So there's an inefficiency right here. I would elect to put some targets on there. So I'm gonna. I like it. So that'll be targets for the week. I want to see that met for by PCE. Now, could we reach that? So this is the weekly. That was that price point. And it just happens to line up with that gap. Probably random, I don't know. But this is beautiful. And this is that lowest high out of the bunch in the equal highs, relative equal highs up here. So Friday, let's just say Friday's high is here, or Thursday, whatever. You don't know that for certain. Okay, so let's just say it wants to save this for next month, right? For June. So what I'm saying is, and this happens all the frickin' time, where you'll come up and you'll take the low-hanging fruit high and then not take this high here and then trade back down and then run it up. And then that's how you get your trend, right? That happens way too often. So I like to front run my exits because you never know if it's going to come up here right away for you or if it's going to save it for the following week or next month. And yes, so I really like what's going on here. Order flow looks bullish. We got our propulsion block. She launched and everything looks gravy. What's up, everybody? Hello, Nicholas. What's up, bro? Hi, Dog Mom. Welcome. What's up, Twiz? Hey. Dave Roy. What's up? After Hours. John Connor. Shout out to all my friends. Martin. What's up? And Bellicose, of course. What up, you guys? Who else we got here? We got Dave, of course. Yes, you got one. Absolutely. I didn't wait till midnight this time. But if we get a big, huge, large range in Asia, I wouldn't expect us to break the flout. Okay? So if you're wondering if you're going to get a giant Judas tomorrow after hours, is this the high or low in the trend? Probably, because of that big giant stop hunt down there. All right. What's up, Stas? Rewind. And if we're just trending, then I would seek to use the flout as an entry technique. Actually, I did that today by accident. It was just kind of went down. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys about my killer trade today. It was just kind of there and everything was just mint, so I hit it. This one's gonna bug you out. I used a secret order block. I don't know what to call it. I'm sure ICT's got a name for it. But Monday, when we were open from Sunday into Monday, that little bit of trading, check this out. I was mentioning to my private students to have this level on your chart because this is Tuesday's candle, but there was some Monday trading in there. Okay, so this acted like a bullish order block even though we did not get the close yet. We just got the close. So I'll show you what I mean. When we opened this candle, that's that order block right there. So it was like some sort of weird hidden order block because Monday closed here for the holiday, but it's still in the same candle. So I was able to key off the higher time frame discount array, still inside of this candle. And that just opened up a whole new world for me. Because I remember Michael saying years ago, I don't need a candle to close above for it to be an order block. And now I get it. I get it. Why? Because this was the higher time frame discounter right here. The fair value gap. We found sensitivity. Monday technically closed above the down close candle. When do we start our new day? Midnight, right? We're not starting our new day at 6. We're starting it at midnight. So that little bit of an edge gave us, or that time gave us a little bit of an edge. Because our candle technically closed up above it. And then it come up, retested it, and then took off. That was actually, holy shnikey. That's so cool. It's an optimal trade entry too. Oh, so much going on here, but today was kind of cakewalky. So I was able to key off of that discount array in a 15-second chart, but I'll tell you this, I wasn't really looking at price action. I was longing at 9:37 a.m. EST. That's what I was longing. I was like, I can't explain it to you, but I knew that was the bottom. Like I knew it was, and so I hit it. It was the best ever. Like think about that, 15-second chart, and order block is materializing on an order block. That's awesome. But it wasn't even the order block because I was already in it. It was at 9:37. I'm like, that's the bottom. And I do this with you guys in the Discord all the time with Bitcoin. But that's what I mean. It's the best. Just keep that price and keep this time in the back of your mind. There's something in there for you. So these are the levels. I hope you guys do well coming up here. It looks like it's going to get quite fun. Next couple of days, I'm looking for some bangers. And then it's going to be non-farm protocol next week. God bless you all. Thank you all for joining. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.